To improve the lives of all Manitobans, we must support our province's most vulnerable citizens.
Manitoba's PC's announcing funding to community organizations that aim to get people experiencing homelessness out of shelters and into homes more quickly.
The path to a safe community is supporting those most vulnerable first.
On Monday, Premier Stefanson announced an increase of more than double of annual subsidies to shelters, transitional housing services, and homeless outreach programs to $15.1 million from $6.1 million. Rent assist subsidies for people on employment and income assistance who rent in the private market is also being bolstered. Come January, the subsidy will rise to 77% of median market rent, up from 75%. Stefanson says that will equate to an extra $34 to $70 per month, depending on the size of the recipient's household. Stefanson also pledged $1.7 million to fund Nadinawaymak 24-hour services.
People should not be living on the street. A bus shelter is not an acceptable place to live. I'm confident that these initiatives will have a strong positive impact on individuals, their families, and our community as a whole. Manitoba government will issue a request for proposals to deliver employment and training programming to EIA clients who are justice involved. Currently, there is a huge gap in services to help people with complex challenges find and obtain meaningful employment and become on the path to independence.
Main Street Project CEO Jamil Mahmood says this is a historic investment never seen in Manitoba before.
It's really hard to put into words the impact this is going to have on our frontline services. We know that shelters are not the solution to homelessness, but they're a step to keep people off the streets and safe.
Well, this isn't a physical infrastructure change for Siloam. We will still stay at 143 beds by being able to better support folks to move back into housing. And the faster that you do that, best practice teaches us that that means that people are less likely to have a reoccurrence of homelessness, less likely to stay entrenched in homelessness.
Housing advocate Daniel Hidalgo says this funding will ensure the longevity of organizations as they try to end homelessness in Winnipeg. His organization will see some of the funding that Nadinawaymak receives, but he says more funding needs to be allocated to smaller groups who are often overlooked.
Grassroots organizations that have formed those meaningful relationships and have built rapport with these folks that are really struggling with a variety of issues stemming from ultimately poverty, right? So supporting those groups that are doing the effective work that have shown the results, supporting them will help long-term.
Mayor-elect Scott Gillingham's platform included plans to build around 270 small housing units on 6 parcels of land owned or to be purchased by the city. Hidalgo hopes Stefanson works on a similar plan as well. Stefanson says more housing announcements should be anticipated later this week. In Winnipeg, Mike Albanese, City News.